said, the peplum is at the back of the blouse only. So because I want the peplum to be fuller and I want to pleat the peplum as well, I'm going to be using a full waist measurement for that. Over here, I've already folded the fabric into 4. As you can see, I first of all fold it into 2, and then I folded it again into 4, so making it 4 places. So I folded the fabric, this is the lining, I folded it into 4 because I'm cutting a full circle. As you can see, it's on the fold, so I'm cutting a full circle. Once I finish cutting this, I'll use it to cut the fabric. Okay, so this is the peplum for the 6-piece blouse, because it's a 6-piece blouse. So what you do first is you make sure your fabric is long enough, because this peplum, the middle back where the zip is longer than the side of the peplum. But I'm going to be cutting using the length of the back to cut it first. Then later on I will shape the side. Okay, so let's start. So what you're going to do is this. For the circle, I know it's a bit confusing for some people when they want to calculate how to cut a circle. But the best is your waist measurement divided by 6. I know you're not sewing a 6-piece skirt, but that is the best way to get your waist measurement. And then of course plus half an inches to sew it on top. So I'm going to be using our waist measurement, which is 39. 39 divided by 6. I got my calculator here. I also have this, my pattern cutting book. I made a tutorial about it. So I use this book to cut my pattern. And I also use to cut circles. As you can see, got a circle there. I have a video on where to get this book. And it's a very, very, very helpful book. So I'm using this book to cut my circle. Okay. So the waist is 39. 39 divided by 6, it gives me 6.5, which is exactly what I want. Even if you use the ratio of 6.28, it's almost still the same thing. So, but at this ratio, I understand this ratio better than the other ones. So I just divide the waist by 6, and it gives me what I want, plus half an inch or plus 1 inch if you want. So I'm using half an inch. So that will be 6.5 plus half an inch. That will be 7. So on this side, I mark down 7. So I go round with the 7. So because I want the flare to be really full, that's why I'm using all our waist measurement. And I want to pleat it as well. Okay, so this is 7. Measure it so you can see it. From there to there is 7. I hope you can see it. It's 7. Okay, so now I'll measure the length of the flare. By the time you cut this open, if you feel it's not wide enough, you can cut, fold it back again and cut 1 inch off. That should be wide enough. So I'm going to now measure the length of the peplum. I'm using the back length first because I will shape the side later. So I'm going to be marking 10. Or maybe I should mark 11. Let me use 11 plus sewing allowance. The peplum is about 9, but because the back peplum is longer than the front, than the side, there's no peplum at the front. It's just the back that has a peplum. But the middle back peplum is longer. So I'm using 11. So all you need to do is join all the dots together. And now you can cut it out. Okay, everyone. So now I've cut it out. I've cut it out. So what I will do now is I can either open it first or I can take it and cut the fabric out. So let me cut the fabric out with it. Okay, so you take your fabric and you just place it on top of it. Place it correctly on top of it. Because sometimes when you open the flare out and fold it again, sometimes it doesn't want to correspond, so the best is just to cut the fabric first before you open the flare out. So make sure that it's okay and you are satisfied with the way you've laid it down, then you cut it out. So one thing I'm going to be doing later, I'm going to be shortening the lining a little bit so that when I sew it, the lining is not showing through. So as you can see, it's a circle. Let me just open this piece. Can you see it's a full circle I cut out? It's a full circle, so that's what you want to do. So I've used a waist of 39 divided by 6. If you were using a waist of 40, you divide it by 6. If you are using a waist of 49 divided by 6 or 48 divided by 6, whichever waist measurement you are using, divided by 6 is the easiest way to get the full circumference of your circle. It's the quickest, easiest way I've ever learned. For me, it works perfectly well, and I just had half an inch to it for sewing allowance. Okay, so I've cut the fabric. I've cut it out now on the fabric. So what I will do now is I can open it out now. Remember I said the flare is only at the back. So what I can do is I can choose which side to slash opened. You can see now, just look at that. You see how wide the waist is? Can you see how wide it is? So if this was a full circle skirt, let me measure what this is. So you see that is very wide. If you were sewing a full circle skirt, this would have been like 50 waist. You can see it's very wide. So when you are sewing a full circle skirt, you don't need to even put any allowance. Probably just stick to the 6.5. And then by the time you cut here open for zip, and then you can take the zip allowance out of it. So I cut here opened. Or better still, if you want to cut a full circle skirt, maybe your best might probably use to divide this into 4 maybe. I haven't tried that method yet, but I'll try it. So now I split it into 2. You can see it's a lot because I want to pleat it. If I don't want to pleat it, I won't use the whole waist measurement. I would have just used 19.5, which is half of my waist, if I wasn't going to be pleating it. Because I'm going to be pleating it. So that's why I've used the whole of our waist measurement. So I just go back to this book again because I use this book to cut my pattern, to draft my pattern. I like to follow the method on this book. So you can see that if you want to cut a semicircle, it tells you how to cut a semicircle. If you want to cut a full circle, it tells you how to cut a full circle, and that's the method I'm using. You can see that your waist divided by 6 here, it gives you, that's from here to here, here to there. That's the circle. Okay, of course you can use 6.28, something like that as well, I don't know. But this is the method I know, that's what I'm using. So if you are sewing a circle skirt, you can either just divide the waist by 4 if you don't want to go too much stress. You can divide the waist by 4, which will probably give you like this waist 39 divided by 4 if you are sewing a full circle skirt. It's going to give you about 9.75, which is about 10. So you probably just cut that one out. I'm sure it'll probably be wide enough. So by the time you divide it into 2 for the zip section, and you take the 2 inches off the zip or 3 inches off zip, whichever you want to take off. I'm probably sure it will probably size the person if you sew it correctly. So anyway, so this is the peplum. I've cut it out. I've opened it out. I've cut one side. So what I will do now is I will decide which part I want to be the back, and then I will shape it. So that's what I will do. So let me try and see if I can fold this back and see if I can. Okay, let me use this one to show you because I don't want the video to be too long now. So let's assuming I want this part here, because I'm not going to cut it out now. I will shape it when I'm about to sew it. So I will shape it. So let's assuming this part here is going to be the middle part where the zip is going to be. Here you're going to put the zip. So you leave this part, you don't touch this part. You look for the midpoint. So in this, I've already measured it. So the midpoint, let me just show you what I did. See, I fold it, I iron here. So by the time I open it out, I know the middle. So this will be the middle here. This is the middle here because the iron is, as I use iron to press it out. Okay, so this is the middle point. This is the back. So if I was going to be like sewing back and front, I would have used this section here for the front, this section here for the back. If I was going to be sewing this all the way around her waist, I would have probably cut it a bit more wider than this because I like the peplum to pleat it a bit. It makes the peplum really full and nice. But I'm not doing that, I'm only put it at the back, so this is perfectly okay for me. So from this point here, you see this is the point where the zip is going to be. Let me move all this so you don't get confused. This part is the zip section. I don't want to cut it open yet, but I will later when I'm about to sew it. And then here is the midpoint of the full circle. This is the middle here, so I've divided it into 2. On this side, that's where I'm going to shape it. I'm not going to be cutting it out, I just want to show you how I will shape it. So from here, I'll just measure down 8.5 because of sewing. 8.5. So I can measure all the way from, I measure it up to 8.5, just up to, let's see, just say about 5 inches from this edge. So 8.5. Okay, so from this point here, I'm going to connect it down here. So I just use the shock to connect it. So I connect it to this place here. So by the time I cut this part out, you'll realize that this part is much smaller by the time I pleat it. Because I only need to pleat the sides only. The zip section doesn't have a pleat on the picture, but I will put a little pleat in the middle here just to form the flare. But on the zip section, I'm not pleating that at all. So I'm pleating the sides. So I'm going to be pleating the side just a bit. So you can see where I've drawn the chalk. So all I did was I just measure I measure 8.5. My measurement here is 8.5. I don't need the whole 11 for the side. The side, these are going to be the side. This point is going to be the middle back where the zip is going to be. So it's longer than the side. So all these points are going to be the side. So I just take my chalk and just freehand it to meet this point here. To meet the center, which is the middle of the flare. Okay, let me just cut it out so that you guys can see it. I didn't want to cut it out before, but let me cut it out so that you guys can see it. Okay, so that's it. I've cut it out. Now I will cut it opened. Doesn't matter if I cut it open into two, I will still end up stitching it anyway, because it's a one full circle. So I'll still cut it. I'm still going to stitch it together even if I cut both of the side opened. But let me cut the zip section opened, because that is the zip section. I decided to cut the side open. I think it's easier that way. So I cut it open, so it got two pieces. So this side will be the side and this other side will be the side. So the middle here, because it's at the back, so I have to cut it open. It's not going around. So this is the middle back where the zip will be. And then I'll pleat it like so, just the way it's already forming the pleat itself. So I'll pleat it. So I'll pleat it just a little bit so it'll give me a proper flare. So this is how I'm going to pleat it. If you can see, you can notice that the side is shorter. So I'm just going to pleat it. So I'll pleat it like so. So this is how I will pleat it. So the back here, there's a zip here. And then I'll pleat it so that the side is fuller. So by the time I finish pleating it and finish sewing it, it will look something similar to this, but I'll put a stay on it. So I give it a bit more body. Yeah, and then I will take the lace and cut the lace. The lace will be, the cutting of the lace, I will put it on the sewing video. I can't put it on this video. This video is too long already. So yeah, so I've cut it into two, so it's in two pieces. One for the left, one for the right, or the back only. Okay guys, thanks for watching this video. Hope it was helpful. Please like, share, comment. Positive comments only, please. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. It's free to subscribe. Subscribe is free. Thanks for watching. Bye. See you in my next video, or you will see me in my next video. Bye.